this year to put in a suitable iconostasis. This was not built in a Montessori fashion, it was built in a 1980s fashion when traditions were abandoned, let's say. But there are many treasures in here, and let me share just a few with you. The most important treasure is the 5 saints of St. Tikhon's and the relics of 4 of them, and that's the icon. I gave you a copy of this that you have in your hand. These are the 5 saints who all labored and served here. 4 of them distinctly labored at the monastery. 1 of them distinctly labored here. Although he served at the monastery church, he was our rector, he was our dean, he taught dogmatic theology, he taught the students how to preach, and that of course is St. Nikolai. So the 2 pillars of the seminary and the monastery are shown as the pillars of the monastery arch, and that's St. Tikhon and St. Nikolai. We have St. Alexander Hotovitsky, whom I mentioned briefly in the photograph, who himself labored at the monastery and helped, I believe, to consecrate the monastery altar. St. Raphael, the first Orthodox bishop consecrated on American soil, was canonized, in addition to serving at the monastery altar, was canonized at St. Tikhon's, I think, in the year 2000. His bones were just exhumed at the Antiochian village about a month ago. And then over here, of course, we have St. Alexis Toth, who likewise labored. He's called St. Alexis of Wilkes-Barre because he labored a lot in the Wilkes-Barre city, which is to the south of Scranton, not too far from here, and who's enshrined across the way. So that beautiful icon, Father Sergius had commissioned many years ago when he served as interim dean of the seminary, and it's considered our seminary icon. We have, by contrast, an interesting image which is above you. The west wall of the church is traditionally either the Dormition of the Mother of God, to remind us on our exiting the church of our own repose, or the Last Judgment, to remind us of that dread day that's to come. That very intriguing icon/painting was painted by a Russian-German iconographer named Matthias von Reutlinger, who painted in the 1970s especially, painted the cathedral, I think, in Philadelphia. He painted our church, St. Andrews, in Baltimore. He has a very distinct style, and if you were to look at the faces up close, you will notice that style when you see it. In any event, that was his last painting. I had a parishioner in Charleston who, when I moved up here, told her sister, who lived in Philadelphia, whose family was personal friends, basically family to the iconographer, that they wanted to have that Last Judgment by the St. Tikhon's. So in my first year we went there, and we've put it up high because it's, well, you need to see it, but we also put it up high because it's an odd configuration of the Last Judgment. It's not exactly an icon, but it's not exactly a painting. The iconographer wished to show every figure in the New Testament that's mentioned related to the Last Judgment. Customarily, you see a very balanced image with the river of fire down the center, and you've got the bosom of Abraham on the one side, and you have the beast eating people up in Hades on the other side. This one's a very chaotic scene because, in all likelihood, it's going to be a pretty chaotic scene on that day. So there's that. Now, why is Matthias von Reutlinger also a known character? Because he painted the prototype of the icon of St. Herman, the first one. And that's it, right there. So this is the first icon of St. Herman of Alaska, painted for his canonization. It's been in the monastery church since that time, but Father Sergius asked us to have it in our seminary chapel. So you'll notice the color similarities, but this particular image, which is well known in the world, if you Google St. Herman of Alaska, all the faces look like that because it comes from Matthias von Reutlinger's icon. So we have that as a treasure. The 2 smaller icons on the sides were gifts of the Patriarch of Moscow to the monastery around 1990, when the Patriarch came here to celebrate the millennium of Christianity in Rus from 988 to 1988. And in 1990 they came here. Patriarch served the big liturgy in the pavilion outside. We have a little tradition which has begun to fail, which is that the graduating class gives an icon to the seminary of the Lord as the vine, and the patron saints of all the graduates around the Lord. So we try to remember our graduates when we come to venerate the Lord's icon in here. Other treasures behind you is, in the case, is an icon of Saint Seraphim of Sarov from the early 1900s. That's the personal icon of Metropolitan Platon, with a portion of Saint Seraphim's cassock, I believe, in the bottom. That was given to us by Babette, whom we met today, his great-granddaughter. Saint Moses the Black, which was given to us a few years ago. A variety of saints who may be familiar to you. What else is interesting? The icon of Saint Alexis there with the little towel over at the Ukrainian towel was an early icon of Saint Alexis, but one thing that's interesting about it is it's painted on a piece of his original coffin. So when he was exhumed and processed for his canonization, which happened in the backyard of the seminary, a portion of that coffin was cut up and it was painted into an icon.